Hi, I'm Dave Tworik, and I'm a race chief for both the Birkie and the Korty baggage, and I'd like to welcome you to our very first baggage primer video. In this video, I'll be talking to you about how we use the signage system to sort and organize skiers' bags so that we can quickly retrieve them and get them back to their tired and cold owners as soon as possible. Birkie weekend is now extended to a 5-day event, and over those 5 days, there are more than 12,000 skiers participating in several events. And each of those skiers now has their own unique bib number. While that might be a good thing for the participants, it does create a little bit of confusion for us at times. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, those unique bib numbers for each skier in the Korty and the Birkie have specific information about them. The elite skiers will have a bib number anywhere from 1 to 999. Other skiers in the Birkie or the Korty will have either a 4-digit number or a 5-digit number. In the Birkie, a 4-digit number means that skier is using the skate style, and a 5-digit number says they are using the classic style. The 4-digit number, the first digit, tells us that this person started in start wave 2. And in the other example, the classic skier, the second digit tells us that they started in start wave 2. Now, for the Korty, both skate and classic skiers have 5-digit bib numbers. The skate number starts with the number 4, and the classic number starts with the number 5. But just like the Birkie, the second digit in both of these 5-digit numbers will tell us what wave the skier started in. And in this example, again, it's wave number 2. Now, what you see behind me is the baggage area. And in the baggage area, at the front of the baggage area, if you look closely, you'll see a white steel barricade. And along that barricade, you'll see several red signs. Each of those signs has a number printed on it, which designates a start wave. And the start waves will go anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, on up. And also, if you look in the forefront here, you will see how our signs are distributed about the baggage area. We will use the wave number and the style of skiing each skier uses to help us organize these signs so that we can sort their bags appropriately. Now what we're seeing here is a virtual mock-up of how we set up our signs in the baggage area. In this instance, what we're seeing is a 4-digit number, which tells us this is a skate skier in the Birkie, and the first digit is a 2. So we know it's a skate skier that started in wave 2. To the right, you'll see a 5-digit number on the signs. The 5-digit number again, classic skier. The second digit tells us the wave number. In this case, it's a 2. So this person started in wave 2. You may also notice that between each sign, there's a difference of 50. So between 2451, you add 50, you'll get to 2501. We will be placing 50 bags between each sign, or each set of signs. Now, there may be instances where there are fewer than 50 bags between signs, but there will never be more than 50 bags between signs. So this would be a good time to probably bring up where to place the bag. Now, if you happen to have grabbed, let's say, bag number 2475, well, 2475 is pretty much right in the middle between 2451 and 2501. So we would like you to take that bag, approximate the middle between the two signs, and place it there. Now, if you happen to, say, pick up bag 2460, well, then we just ask you to place it a little bit forward of middle towards the front, or if you have bag 2485, put it a little bit farther from middle towards the back. Now, after a couple of people have placed a couple of bags, of the first 50 in that column, they will act as landmarks. So the closer we can get with those first couple of bags, the easier it'll be to make sure everybody else gets their bags put in the right place. Okay, now I'd like to discuss something that's caused us troubles in the past. And we've added a little bit, we've added a sign to this that I think will help alleviate the troubles we were having in the past. Some of these waves have 3, 4, nearly 500 skiers in them. And given the space we have, it's just impossible to line 450 bags up in a row. So what we have to do is we'll lay out 200 bags, and then we have to double back to the front and start over again. So if you look at the example behind me, you'll see that on one side we go from 2451 to 2501, but then we see the sign that says last bag 2550. Well, what that's saying is the last bag in this column is going to be 2550. So if you have a bag with a number larger than 2550 in it, then you need to head back towards the front and look for the sign that corresponds best to the bag you have. So if you have bag number 2551, you head to the front and set it there. So basically what you want to do is you want to look for both signs that bracket the bag number you have. So if you have bag number 2525, you're going to want to look for that sign that's 2501, and in this case the sign that says last bag is 2550, and make sure you place your bag in that column. Okay, so I know that this may be a little bit confusing, especially for those of you who've never done this with us and just watching some guy talk about it on a video screen. But once we get out there, we're going to go over all of this again in place. You'll see the actual signs. We'll actually carry bags around, kind of, do some trial runs, if you will, through all of this. But we thought it just might be nice for you to have a little bit of a primer to look at before coming out and just not knowing what we do. So I hope this will help in making a little bit more sense out of all this organization we're trying to achieve here. Okay, a few more items here. One is if for some reason you think there's a need to move a sign, don't. Please don't move any signs. If a sign does need to get moved, please come see me, and I'll take care of that, please. Another item, if you cannot find a skier's bag, please come see me. From then I'll handle it from that point. The weather, I can't tell you what the weather's going to be like that day, other than it's going to be some fair degree of pretty darn cold. So please dress appropriately for the weather. My suggestion is to wear a lot of different layers. There's a lot of activity at the beginning, and then there's periods of time when you may not be moving as fast. So temperature regulation is really important, and layering up instead of one big parka would probably be the best option. And also, if you have any kind of traction control for your feet, like yak tracks or something akin to those, sometimes the surfaces we're working on can be a bit slippery. And then lastly, and most importantly about all of this, is when you're bringing that bag back to the skier who's just spent hours and hours and hours out on that trail and is exhausted, yet happy, if you have a few seconds to spend with them, to ask them how their day was, how the trail was, how many times they've done it, do it. This is your opportunity to connect with those skiers. I tell people who say that they love going onto Main Street and watching the skiers go by, that actually being a volunteer is much better than being on Main Street and ringing a bell. I mean, that's nice, but here you actually connect. And so I encourage you, if you have the time, take a few seconds, see how their day was. And it'll be good for both of you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If this is really confusing, well, we're going to go over it again on the day we actually start moving these bags around. So until then, take care.